All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I see that we've got some Central Time folk hanging out as usual. Rick, always the first one in the house, taking that moderation duty ever so seriously. That's why he is the best wielder of the Sword of No Mercy. That's right. Thanks so much for hanging out, Rick and Darlene. That is right. We have got Lono in the background for the music, in the waiting room for the music. And pretty soon we will have Lono music in the background. But before we do that, let's just get the party started. Okay, then. So now that I'm remembering, we have got the music in the background. We've got the party started, and Cola T coming in with Aloha as Danny Kalakini. Can't remember how to say his last name, so I'll just say Kalakini, as Danny Kalakini would say. Yes, he is a great loss in the Hawaiian entertainment family recently, but even I, as a tiny little child who lived on the islands, who moved far away for many years, even I have memories of that man and his voice and his aloha. So yeah, he is and will be greatly missed in that scene. So, Rick, okay, cool. You're gonna have one eye on the show tonight, one eye on the Packers game. So you might be, you might get a little tense. No worries, my friend. No worries. I've got myself in. Well, no, I don't yet, but I will. I've got myself in mod view, and so if something terrible, horrible, no good, very bad happens, I also have the Sword of No Mercy, and so it'll work out just fine. E-music in the house. Wonderful. All right, great. Now, you guys. So I've been saying for quite some time, I want to do this. I don't know how to do this. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Well, I think I figured it out today. I mean, I don't know. So we're going to find out. I took some tutorials and I did some things that the tutorials told me to do. And if someone wants to send an emote in the chat, it might pop up on this screen. I might have figured out how to make emotes go floating across the screen. I might not have figured it out because I haven't streamed since I did it, but let's see if it works. Oh, doesn't look like it worked. Okay. Well, that makes me angry. Why isn't it working? It's supposed to be working. Oh. Okay. All right. See, that's what I need y'all for, is to show me. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay. All right. Okay. See, all of these emotes would be floating all over the place if I did it right. I guess I didn't do it right. Okay. All right. Well, now I'll have to dig into it deeper. Kenny from the Cove, good to see you. I am drinking from your Yeti mug that you gifted to me here for the Statterbox crew, cinema, the Chatter with Statter. And I have to tell you, holy flirking snit, dude. That, this Yeti cooler mug thing somehow manages to, I feel like it actually makes stuff colder than it was when I put it in there. Like, I've got some ice, I've got some pamplemousse, and I've got some pog in there because I like to mix my little pamplemousse and my pog, and yeah, it feels colder than it does when I just pour it into a regular glass, so that's kind of cool. And for some reason it tastes, now this is totally, this is silly, but it tastes more like it came from Hawaii when I drink it in here than when I drink it in the other glasses. And I know, whatever. That makes no sense. So, can you handle the beer? Can it handle beer? Well, I'm pretty sure it could handle beer. Now, it's, I think, like 40 some odd ounces in here, so it could handle a 40 ouncer, but the question really is, will it retain its fizz? I don't know. But, Rick, you do know that I might be willing to do this experiment, right? Right? You do know that I might be willing to find out. And let's see here. The outside of the mug always stays cold no matter what you put in it. Oh, so even if I like put hot stuff in it, it stays cold on the outside? Well, that's kind of handy. Yeah, Pecola tea, Yetis apparently are the bestest. I mean, I've heard good things about it, but quite honestly, I know I haven't used this yet. And it occurred to me last night, it was like, why haven't you used this yet? I mean, it's not like you don't drink stuff, but normally I just drink stuff out of the can. And so it's like, no. We're going to do this right today. I'm going to do it for science, Pecola tea. And Rick, but can I handle a 40 ouncer? Rick. That's only like 3 beers, basically. Yes, I can handle 3 beers. I have been known to handle 3 beers, even 4 on occasion. And when you hit 4 times 12, that's even more. So, you know, yeah, 3+, exactly. I can handle 3+ beers, I promise you. I mean, I'm not bragging, but I promise you. Because see, when you brag, or when you get your hopes up, like I did with this silly emote thing that I thought I did right, it never works out. So, exactly, Darlene's just like, Rick, of course. So, hey, speaking of things are tasting like they're from Hawaii when they're in here. I don't know why. I don't know why it tastes like it's from Hawaii when it comes from there, but something about that makes it taste like it did when it was in Hawaii. Well, Hawaii, as we all know, is superior to probably where you're at. And I'll tell you right now, you might think it's not superior. You might think it's going to be better someplace else. I know that Pecola tea thought that maybe it was going to be better someplace else. And then she went to Australia. She went to Sydney Beach. Oh, that's not Australia. God dang it. There we go. Hold on. There we go. She went to Australia. She went to Sydney Beach on a Friday. And she noticed that there was some people at the beach in Sydney on a Friday. And then when she went to Hawaii on a Sunday at Ala Moana Beach Park, right, you know, in front of the biggest city on the island, Honolulu, well, this was on a Sunday. Look how not crowded it was. That is Sydney on a Friday. And then more Sydney on a Friday. And suddenly, after more Sydney on a Friday, well then, look at this beautiful, deserted, empty Hawaiian beach. And yeah, Pecola tea said, you know, so she sent us these pictures today to share on the stream. And Pecola tea said, you know, it's about time I stopped complaining about the crowds at Ala Moana, because clearly Ala Moana does not have the super crowds that the Sydney does. And maybe home is good. Maybe home really isn't that bad. There could be places that is even worse than the crowds that you're fighting at Ala Moana, right? Yes, indeedy, Sydney proves that Hawaii, as crowded as it is not anything that is, you know, lots and lots of odds our beaches are just as crowded, if not worse. And so, yeah, might as well just stay home to Hawaii, as it were. And yeah, and let's see here, Rick, after the holiday tourist slump. Oh, I don't know. I'm assuming that this was taken when Pecola tea got home, and so yeah, probably after the main wave of tourists. But still, that Sydney beach was crowded, man. And so you know, beautiful beaches are going to get crowded during holiday tourist things. And so I guess, you can leave your wonderful, beautiful Hawaii beach for another wonderful, beautiful beach, but it's going to be just as crowded. So maybe home is just best. Maybe home is just best. Oh, excuse me. But Paola T is going to have to be the one to clarify exactly when it is that the pictures were taken, Rick. But it's summer down under. Well, I guess. All right, fine. Still, though, I would much rather have the Ala Moana crowds than what I saw there at the Sydney Beach crowds, frankly. And so, yeah, exactly, Paola. The beach in Sydney was crazy crowded, precisely. But regardless of whether or not it's summer in the South, or whether or not it's the tourist slump, or the whatever, I'm pretty sure that in Sydney, they don't have this. And if you know what it is, then you know that they need one of these. And, if Hawaii has one and Australia doesn't, Hawaii might be a little bit better. Because you know what that is. Do y'all know what that is? All y'all, any ideas? If you know, you know. But if you don't know, you might think you're going to jail. And when you're going to jail, they do not give you these tasty treats. But you can get them in Hawaii, not in Australia. Gotta go to Hawaii. Yep, that's right, Andre. That is the Leonard's Malasada truck. Picture by Paola T as well. And yeah, exactly. Malasada truck. Yeah, and so, we know that Australia doesn't have one of those. So already Hawaii's got has got the superiorness. And Rick, don't like crowded beaches? Try going at night. That's funny. I do like going to the beach at night, but the deal here is, and I don't care what locals tell you, that you can tell them apart. I can't. I don't like going to the beach at night because I like to go in the water when I go to the beach. And I don't like to go in the water at night because I don't know if what's swimming up next to me is a shark or a dolphin. And I know that Andy was telling us that dolphins go like this and sharks go like this, but I don't care. He can use that knowledge to save his okole. I will stay on the beach to save mine. So there you have it. And let's see here. Yeah, exactly. Beaches are pretty at night with the moon on the water too. Oh, absolutely. And beaches at night are super fun if you go with the right people. Absolutely. Absolutely. But when it comes to getting to the water, I'm not so sure. I mean, I'd want to, and I'm probably would do it, but it's probably not a good idea because you don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I said, they say you can tell, but I can't tell. And for those of you who are like, what does this and this mean? Okay, so apparently, shark's tails go from side to side, and whale and dolphin tails go up and down. And so even though the shark and the dolphin both have that fin, I don't remember what that fin's called, the fin that pokes out of the water, you can tell by how that fin moves as to what's underneath the water. If it kind of bobs up and down, it's a dolphin. Dorsal fin, thank you. I wanted to call it a pectoral fin, but I was like, oh, that doesn't sound right. I don't think it's a pectoral fin. But yeah, so the dorsal fin, so if it goes up and down, kind of, that kind of motion, if it's more bobbing, it's probably a dolphin. But if it sort of goes from side to side, it's probably a shark. And that's great. But I'm not going to risk my butt on that bit of knowledge until I know that I personally can differentiate. And I would have to know that I could differentiate safely from the shore before I would decide to get in the water. And as Paola T says, if I can't see what's in the water, then I don't want to be in the water. Exactly. So let's see here. Poppy Shaney in the house. You're just driving, so you're lurking. Yes, I hope all is well with the gangy too. And Andre, way more shark attacks on the mainland West Coast, but even so, very, very few. Well, yeah, I guess, but Maui especially, there are some parts of the islands that do have sharks. And just not that long ago, a woman from Washington State, they assume, got eaten by a shark off of the coast of Maui. They don't know what happened to her because they haven't found her, but her husband, who was snorkeling with her, saw a shark. Other people saw a lot of blood. So, somebody didn't end up at home. And, and it wasn't because of a dolphin ride. So, there might be more, but they still do happen on the islands. And, I just don't want to be one of those women from Washington State who get eaten by a shark off the coast of Maui. And I guess technically speaking, realistically, statistically speaking, since that's already happened, it would be really unusual and unlikely to it happened to me. But still, wouldn't it be funny if two women? No, it wouldn't be funny, but well, anyway. So let's see here. So they got all those manta ray swims on the Big Island, so you don't think too many shark attacks at night there? Yeah, probably not, because there's, I think, different, parts of different islands that are more, the word is escaping me, that are more conducive to sharks' habitat, hanging out. They like hanging out there more than other spots, and so where the manta rays are, hopefully it's not so many sharks, but I mean, let's really hope. I don't know. And so let's see here. I know, right, Poppy Shaney? I know. And so Poppy Shaney is making a very, very sick joke, which is I think where every single person's mind went for a second, which is yeah, that's what happened. That's it. That's the ticket. It was a shark. Yeah, a shark. That's what happened to my wife. Because really, it's okay. First off, it's not funny. Like what happened is not funny. But I think for a second, all of us were just like, sure, dude, shark attack. But as it turns out, there was some witnesses that were like, well, there might have been a shark attack. We might have seen some. So honestly, it wasn't until I heard or I read that witnesses were like sort of corroborating the story that I believed the story. Because my first thought in my head was, yeah, sure, dude, it was a shark. Just because I watched too many, murder mysteries on court TV or something like that. So, and let's see here. Let's see. All right, cool. So, in case you guys haven't noticed, I'm wearing this little t-shirt here that Andre actually gifted to me, but I figured I'd show it off in the stream because if you've been around here for a little while, you know that I've been talking about the Southern residents for quite some time, and unfortunately, I have a little bit of bad news, not in regards to the Southern residents directly, but one of the main researchers that have been following the Southern residents recently passed away, and I thought I would show you guys just a quick little memorial, because this gentleman is someone who I have actually shown on a couple different videos about the Southern residents on this stream, and so even though I don't have his name off the top of my head because I'm really bad with names, I would I would like to share this quick little memorial for the gentleman who helped bring the lineage of the Southern residents. He introduced the whales to us as an individual. He tracked their genealogy, their matriarchy, who's whose mom, who came from who mated with who. Very, very, very important person in understanding how the Southern residents basically operate. And so I'm gonna show you this little video. It's not very long though.
Biologist Ken Balcom spent his entire adult life documenting orcas, charting their family trees.
He's the last of that whole tree.
Studying their habits, trying to save them.
He was into whales when he was just a teenager and into his 20s, and has had a passion for whales and the sea all his life, as long as I can remember.
Ken died Thursday at 82 years old. His family says this work was his life.
His legacy is bringing the southern resident killer whales to the world and to the attention of the world.
You see all these rocks out here.
He founded the Center for Whale Research in 1985. One of his biggest efforts, getting more food for the orcas as salmon populations dwindle.
He was able to recognize over 20 years ago that the main problem that was holding their population down, and in fact led to a 20% decrease over 5 years, which is what ended up being the endangered species listing in 2005, was the lack of salmon.
The last salmon that I saw was right down here.
Ken told us in 2019 it was past the time to act to save our southern resident whales.
I think this entire pod is at extreme risk of extinction.
We talked with Ken last year when the organization bought property along the Elwha River near Port Angeles to help protect the salmon that spawn there that orcas eat.
We bought it for the whales. We bought it for J-Pod. As far as I'm concerned, when I move on, it's theirs.
Ken told us this work was his passion.
I feel privileged and honored that the whales have chosen me to be their agent on this purchase. I love the whale. I feel like I'm one of them.
Oops, sorry about that dead air. So, so thank you for putting up with that little in memoriam video that I wanted to share, because I know, Orca agent, exactly, how cool is that? But his work has affected so many people, including the Statterbox crew, because Lord knows I have talked enough about the Southern residents that someone, Andre, decided to send a t-shirt. And I love this t-shirt. I love the graphics. I love the colors. It's a good t-shirt. So, yeah, it is so nice that he was so committed to the orcas. But backtracking just a little bit, Poppy Shaney, it was in poor taste, which is exactly why I said it. It was funny. Everybody has a little dark streak of humor. And as you could see from the chat there, you weren't the first person to have that thought. Not to mention, I also had that thought. So all is good. I know that compassion needs to happen. And we all know that compassion needs to happen. But at the same time, sometimes, there's times when you can just let loose a little bit, and that's what this is all about. So no worries about that joke, because, well, if I thought it was inappropriate, I sure as heck wouldn't have mentioned it on the stream. So yeah, eMusic. Yeah, it is such a great. Actually, here, I don't know if I show. This is the whole. Well, there we go. So that. There we go. That's basically what it looks like. And so I'll be sporting that this shirt tonight and probably later on this week until I need to put it in the dirty clothes bin, because it's very comfortable. And Picola tea, exactly. Poor taste is one of the reasons why we get along so well. Right. All of us do have a little bit of, a little bit of sass in our humor, as it were. And so that particular topic, though a little bit morbid, really does lend itself to a bit of a dark humorous take. So a little bit of a dark humorous take. But I think we can all agree that we don't want to be eaten by sharks. And I think we can all agree that these guys could actually come to our protection. If we were swimming with these guys, there might not be a lot of sharks, because sharks do not like orcas. I think we've talked about that too. And so, Andre, thank you so much for I'm going to say 600 biddies. And exactly, Kenny, if we couldn't laugh, we would all go insane. Precisely. So yeah, so we might have been wrong to laugh, but you know what? Sometimes it's right to be wrong. Okay, maybe not, but whatever. Now, hold on one sec. Excuse me. So one thing though, so now that we're sort of on the whale topic, I would like to also let you guys know this very strange little quirk that they're learning about some whales that hang out in the Pacific Ocean. There is a little whale that has come. Okay, let me rephrase that. There's this little whale. It's a gray whale. That's like one of the biggest kind of whales. Whatever. There's this huge gray whale, but he's called Little Patch. That is his name. And his name is Little Patch because he's got a little patch on his back. And that's how they know who he is. And he's one of the younger whales that are in this particular gray whale pod. And his family travels from the Salish Sea down to Hawaii, and then I think they've got like a more southern route or something. I'm not quite sure exactly what the gray whales' yearly migration routes are, but they have noticed that Little Patch is always the first one. He is like the harbinger of the gray whales are coming, gray whales are coming. He's always the first one in the Salish Sea for the last couple years. They've noticed he's there first, and sometimes by a long shot, like over a month ahead of the rest of his crew. And they're finally realizing why that is, and it's neat that they're realizing this. But it's also not neat that they're realizing this. Okay, eMusic, perfect. You are, you actually might be giving me the answer to what it is that I was wondering about. So, Little Patch is like Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. Right? Yeah, there you go. And yeah, he Kenny from the Cove. Little Patch is their advancement. Sort of. What they're realizing now is Little Patch is skipping. And what the consequences of this realization are, we don't know. But what they're realizing is Little Patch is pulling away from his pod and not doing their full circuit. The southernmost part of their circuit, Little Patch is skipping. And he's just coming straight to the Salish Sea. And they're hypothesizing that the southern route of their migration, just as far as Little Patch is concerned, isn't worth the food benefit. There's more better food up in the Salish Sea. He's making a beeline up to the Puget Sound, up to the Salish Sea, Queen Charlotte Islands, Strait of Juan de Fuca, that whole area. He is completely skipping the southern part of that migration. And they're hypothesizing it's because there isn't enough food. So we don't know if that's the case or not. But the scientists are hypothesizing that, that other gray and other gray whales are coming with him now. Like, he used to be the only one, and now there's a couple more that come with them. But Little Patch is always like the first one in the area. And so they're starting to hypothesize that they might be, due to food scarcity in the Pacific, the gray whales might be actually altering their migrational courses from year to year, or they're evolving a different migration pattern, I guess is what I'm saying. Now, they don't know this for certain. This is just truly observational hypothesis based on the fact that Little Patch consistently for several years has hit the Salish first, sometimes a month or two in advance of the rest of them. And in the last year, he's been bringing more with him. So he's just like, come on, God, so he's sort of like, he's taking an evolutionary lead in the sense that it's like, listen to me, you guys, we're not going to go the old way. We need to find a new route kind of thing. So who knows what kind of conversations the gray whales have when they're hanging out at the Hawaiian Islands. It's just like, you take the south route, I'll take the, you take the high road, I'll take the low road, whatever. I don't know what they're doing. And I don't know if it's for better or for worse that they're evolving this route. Frankly, to me, it seems a little bit of for the worse in the sense that there's the necessity. But on the other hand, it gives me hope that the salmon restorations and orca restorations that are happening in the Salish Sea are having a multitude, a domino effect, as it were, that help other species also thrive. And so I'm hoping that the Salish Sea salmon recovery efforts are going to blossom into something that, frankly, I mean, I wish that the hypothesis of the southern part of their route not having enough food was just silly. But I think we all know that ocean habitats have been being altered for a really long time, and so it's quite possible that, you know, the food sources aren't there. So I'm excited that the Salish Sea is blossoming. I don't know if they'll be able to support the food loss that's been lost in the southern part of the migration, but either way, it's a horrible situation that they have to alter their route, but to me it gives me a little bit of hope that what we're doing up here in the Salish Sea is actually starting to work, basically. And so let's see here. And more better food in the Pacific Northwest. You can get behind that hypothesis. Yeah, that is the hypothesis. And so let's see. Colity, kind of like the handful of golden plovers that you see hanging around Oahu year-round. Instead of making the annual migration to or from Alaska, these year-rounders are staying because it's just not worth the effort. Right, exactly. And then Andre, okay, so lots of gray whales get killed around the Northern California Bay Area for some reason. So maybe they're avoiding this area. Possibly, and actually, Andre, I'm not surprised that a lot of them get killed in that area, because that's an area of heavy shipping traffic, ship traffic. And that is one of the biggest killers of whales. Not the Southern Resident Orcas, but, that is one of the biggest causes of mortality and death among all the whales, is interactions with large ships. So that actually doesn't surprise me that you hear about that a lot in that area. And let's see here. So C Honda, good to see you coming on in. We are talking about various and assorted wild animals, talking about gray whales, talking about the orcas, Paquilites, talking about these lazy birds that just have actually, they're not lazy birds. They're smart birds. They're birds that hang out in Hawaii all year round because they know they've got food. It's comfortable. It's all good. I don't need to go to Alaska to go get my foods. I got all my foods here off the grasses and the beach stuff. It's all good. So let's see here. Kenny, the gray whales, Mexico, please. That's been done to death. Why do I cry? That's funny. It's really funny. And Andre, so are they delaying the crab season up there to protect the gray whales? Oh no, that has nothing to do with anything. They only delay the crab season because of the crabs not being around, or the number of crabs, etc. And actually, the crab season is beginning up in the Dungeness crab season, is beginning up in off of the coast of Oregon in the next couple days. I don't know if Washington State has started their crab season yet, but the Dungeness season in Oregon is starting very soon, and I think they're the first state to start, and I think this year, that is, or this season, and I think that almost every state is delaying their crab season just because the numbers aren't there. Really? Okay, so down in the Bay Area, they delay it to protect the whales? Well, that could be because the start of the crab season and then the migration pattern just happened to overlap, whereas perhaps up in Oregon and Washington, the timing just isn't quite like that. But no, I've never heard of the crab season getting delayed because of whales. I've heard of the crab season getting delayed or canceled because there aren't enough crabs. That seems to be the impetus up in the Washington area and Oregon. That being said, I'm not an Oregon resident, so I don't necessarily know the nuances of how Oregon decides how to do what they do when they do it. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, and so let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, the gray whales. Right, the gray whales are like, let's skip the snack tray and go straight to the seafood buffet. Exactly. Excuse me. So let's see here. And they get caught in the crab equipment, so it's delayed this year. Interesting. I don't know enough about how would the whales get caught in the crab equipment. I mean, okay, I don't doubt that, because I definitely don't know, but like, crab pots are just, I mean, nets seem way more easy to get caught in than like a crab pot. I'm a little confused about that. So that's interesting. I'll have to look into that. I mean, I'm sure as heck not doubting you. I'm just trying to wrap my brain around like, what about the crab pots? Is it that the whales even get caught in? They get tangled in the rope. Interesting. Because it's just one rope. Okay. All right, there we go. Hey, Doe, good to see you. Excellent day. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so we're about 40 minutes into the hey, hi, I'm normal. I remember you too. I don't remember 100% about you, but I feel like you might be a chef if I remember correctly. And I want to say you're from England, or not from England, but you're currently in England. But I don't know if you should quote me on that. Oh, wow. Holy crumb. I guess you should quote me on that. See, I remember you. I remember you. And let's see, Kenny from the Cove. The plovers probably aren't leaving Hawaii because it's Hawaii. And then, okay, wait, hold on. Rick, if the Packers win, then the Seahawks don't go on, right? Don't go on. Oh, don't get to go on, right? Gotcha. Okay, and let's see here. Rick, okay, you saw YouTube about gray whales going after a salmon hatchery for a snack. Interesting. We talked about that on this stream, not with the gray whales, but with the orca whales. And I did wonder, because I had never heard of an orca getting into the salmon hatchery pens. And so I was thinking, like, since if the orcas don't get into salmon hatchery pens, then obviously the orcas, they're fish snobs and they don't want that kind of fish. But as it turns out, I guess the gray whales are not nearly as picky, and definitely, oh, that's funny. I'll have to look into that. I would love to see that YouTube video about the gray whales going after salmon hatchery things for a snack, for sure. Yeah, because it does seem sort of logical that if you've got a pen in the middle of the water filled with fish, why wouldn't whales who come across that, or any predator that likes fish as a snack, why wouldn't they just hang out and just, Pocola T, you thought whales eat krill, didn't know about eating salmon. Well, different whales eat different things. So the ones that eat krill, those are the baleen feeders. Those are the ones that are filter feeders, basically. But there's ones like the orcas, although not the Southern Resident Orcas, they prefer salmon. But then you've got the transient orcas, and they eat seals. So whales eat all sorts of stuff. And as it turns out, I guess, the gray whale eats hatchery salmon. And so, hi, I'm normal. I'm so glad that you think it's adorable. I don't know if you're talking about the little emote that you popped up, or if you think it's funny that we're just talking about whales and stuff. Yep, so there you go. The gray whale, interesting. Wow, so the gray whale is a baleen feeder, but it still manages to eat the salmon? Well, now that is interesting. I definitely need to go check out that YouTube video that Rick just posted, because now I'm very confused. And yeah, exactly, Pulity. Darn those transients. Those transients are brutal and brilliant. I actually showed a hunting video on how they managed to get the seals into the water, and it's pretty amazing. They're brutal hunters. There you go. And actually, not only are they brutal hunters, maybe about a year ago, for those of you who've hung out on this show for that long, might remember there's a local baseball team in South Seattle called the Dub C Fish Sticks. But they just got the name the Fish Sticks, and prior to being named the Fish Sticks, they were named something very boring and innocuous and not memorable, something like the Bears or whatever. So they had a contest to decide what the new team name was going to be. And they were either going to be the West Seattle Seal Slingers or the Dub C Seal Slingers, or they were going to be the Fish Sticks. And the Seal Slinger logo for that team was an orca whale with a seal in its fake fin hands, using it as a bat, which is kind of brutal, but it is actually what the whales do, sling the seals. And I'm normal. The Fish Sticks, if I played baseball, I'd die laughing if I had to face people called the Fish Sticks. Oh no, you don't understand, dude. This like league of baseball, it's like right before it's like collegiate level, and it's not quite the minor leagues, but it's like where you get picked from the minor to go to the minor leagues. And this league is filled with teams: the Portland Pickles, the West Seattle Fish Sticks, the I can't remember what, like it's a ton of food. All of them have food, weird funny food names. And so the Fish Stick is, yeah, the Portland Pickles. You heard me right, the Portland Pickles. So the Fish Stick logo is a fish stick, with a baseball cap, and he's using a crinkle French fry for his baseball bat. And the Fish Sticks narrowly won out over the Seal Slingers in the local competition. We voted on it. I voted for the Fish Sticks because I thought the Seal Slingers was just a little too brutal and a little too real, I guess. Real. And let's see here. Yeah, Andre, true. Dolphins and orcas do mess with porpoises just to mess with them, and they don't eat them. That is true. And sometimes the orcas that mess with the seals, they don't even eat the seals either. Wait, yeah, they literally just are jerks. They're killing for fun. Like, oh, I need a new, Nerf football. Oh, look, there's a Nerf football on the beach. Let me go grab it for you. Only that Nerf football is actually a seal. And then they treat it like a Nerf football. And then the Nerf football, it's getting boring, and so they just leave it. My cats have been known to do that with mice and rats as well. I think it's just something predators do, and it's really awful if you think about it. And let's see here. Okay, I think Kenny might be talking about football, so I'm gonna skip past that one. And Darlene, yeah, I sometimes wonder how they pick and choose their names exactly. Well, in this case, in this particular case, I can tell you guys actually, like, there is a PR firm that works with this league, and part of the reason for changing the name to something as ridiculous as the Fish Sticks or the Pickles is to get people talking about it. And when you get people talking about it, you sell more tickets. And so this league has hired this particular PR firm to go through the different names of the different teams across the leagues, and they've done apparently the PR firm that when they were working on the West Seattle team, the Fish Sticks, it was a years-long thing that they got community input from like elementary schools and junior high schools and all sorts of like getting the kids involved, and then they somehow narrowed it down to the two, and then the community voted on it. And so so basically the idea, I really think, is to make the names a little bit eye-catching and ridiculous, just from the PR standpoint. Now, hi, I'm Normal. What the heck is a NERF football? It's not a football. It's an American style football, and it's basically a sponge, and so it's safe for kids. So if you get beamed in the head with a NERF football, like in the eye, you're not gonna have a black eye. You're not gonna get bruised because real sports balls are kind of hard, and so the NERF is a brand, and it's got a bunch of different like soft balls and soft things for kids to play with. So that's what a NERF football is. And right, okay, there we go. We had the Savannah Bananas. I knew that there was more. Thank you, Andre. I couldn't for the life of me remember what the other ones were. Okay, cool. Picola T told Hi Normal what that is, and let's see here. Let's see here. So yeah, we've got the Savannah Bananas, and then let's see here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Savannah Bananas, and okay, on the NERF. Now we're talking about NERF. Exactly. You remember footballs? You got hit in the head with those. You got a concussion from one of those. Right. Exactly. So then, if you got a flirpin' concussion from one of those, then you can appreciate why a spongy version of that football was created for kids to play football in the backyard with. And honestly, I think they're slightly smaller than the regulation footballs because it's made for kids. But if you know what you're doing, you actually can throw those footballs kind of far. I am not somebody who knows what they're doing. I can't throw a NERF football very far. I can't throw a real football very far. In fact, I can't even throw it right. You know that whole spinniness that it's supposed to do? Well, when I throw a football, it spins, just not the right way. And yeah, you remember those darn rubber dodgeballs? Totally, those things hurt like heck. Yeah, I don't really understand how dodgeball was even allowed on recess or let alone not just on recess, but actually we had to play it in gym. And I mean, it's not necessarily a full contact sport, but it's pretty close to a full contact sport in its own way for an elementary school kid. And yeah, Darlene, exactly. There is NERF everything. Yeah, I'm not at all surprised that your grandson wants them all. Those NERF, there's NERF, guns, and it's not that the gun is a NERF, but the little arrow pellets or whatever, the little sticky things, they're foam tipped. So, whoa, dude, you got hit in the head. It left a red mark for 9 days. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Kids were flipping brutal. Rick, yeah, exactly. Dodgeball. I think the teachers took bets on which kid came up crying. Now, okay, you guys, I'm about to say a phrase here that is not really acceptable in daily language in today's day. But when I was a kid, we had a game called Smear the Queer. Now, for those of you who might have heard that phrase before, that's the same, in my memory, that was the same thing as dodgeball, right? Oh yeah, honey, you heard me right. Oh, hi, I am normal, yes. In elementary school, we had a game called exactly what I just said. And I really hesitate to say that phrase again because your response, what? Was very appropriate. Okay, Kenny from the Cove, you played that in elementary school. I can't remember, isn't that the same thing as dodgeball, or was it slightly different? Because I want to say it was the same thing as dodgeball. On the other hand, no, it wasn't. It was something slightly different. But what I can tell you is we played that game not only in elementary school, we played it in gym class. We played it in gym class. The teacher actually said, we're gonna play Smear the Yeah, they really did say that. Okay, Kenny from the Cove, totally different. All right, okay. I wanted to say it was the same, but it was like, no, it was a different game. So, Kenny, do you remember how the not dodgeball game was played? Because I can't remember how the other one was played, but I can tell you, yeah, we did play it. And I'm pretty sure that kids, well, they might play the game today, but I'm 99.9999999% sure they don't call it that today. Because if they got caught calling it that today, they would have a note written to their mom and dad, and maybe they would be sent home for hate speech. So yeah, that was, yeah. So now that we've got that awkwardness out in the open. All right, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna let Kenny hopefully let us know what that game was all about. But while we wait for that, why don't we take a Lono listening break? And this video of Lono, was created by MolokaiMatt, and you should support MolokaiMatt's YouTube channel every chance you get. All right, here we go.
Just flew over Kanakaka. See the humo nuka nuka waving goodbye. Turn around, take me home. We got the mangoes, papayas, coconut trees. I wanna lay in the Hawaiian breeze. Molokai, take me home. Let's dance. All the pretty ladies in the hula halau, all the signs read Aolela uahiki no. Take me home. When that wind starts a blowing, you can walk right in, seaside and Uliaki, Lomeli Costa, Lili Ue, start dancing with the hula girls swaying. Walk on the wharf, take me home. Skiddly zippa zabba zizap, jibaze, bazoo bazoo, zizabaze, that's Amazing zing. Take me home. That one. When that wind starts a blowing, you can walk right in, seaside and here, Uliaki and Normandy Costa, Eliliue, start dancing with the hula girls swaying. Walk on the wharf, take me home. Molokai, where the humu humu nuku nuku apua'a go swimming by.
If you enjoy what you heard, check us out at www.lonomusic.com. Aloha.
All right, that was our mandatory Lono break. Trying to mix it up a little bit there, getting you some videos that you might not see for yourself if you go to his channel at let's try that again. YouTube, Kaupe'epe'e is the user, and Lono's got plenty of his stuff up there, but MolokaiMatt is where that video came from. And my best guess is, if you don't already know, I'm going to tell you, Matt is from Molokai, which is why he's got a great connection with Lono. That's where Lono is, Molokai. And so lots of great videos about Lono and to Lono's music have been created by MolokaiMatt. Definitely check out MolokaiMatt's channel if you're interested about the island of Molokai. Because not only does he talk about Lono on his channel, he's got videos about a ton of other Molokai-oriented stuff. In fact, a few months ago at Statterbox in the cinema, we watched one of his feature-length films, which was an hour-long documentary about the Halava Valley and the Sons of Halava, as it was called. So, if you are interested in MolokaiMatt, he definitely is a great resource for that topic. And let's see here. Hi, I'm normal. Yeah, exactly. That's why I hated that game too, because it was just like, I'm really slow and you're not supposed to throw the ball out and run home. That's not how you play the game, but that's exactly how I would play that game. Yeah. And so, yeah, Kenny, exactly. Basically, it's American football with nothing but running, hitting the ball carrier, and then piling on top. Yeah, so basically it is everything that the movie that we watched last night on Statterbox at the cinema didn't want you to do. And so for those of you who weren't here last night, we did watch the movie Concussion, starring Will Smith, that was outlining the NFL's response to the discovery of CTE that was affecting a lot of their players, former and current, etc. So yeah, that was a really great movie. Kenny from the Cove was the one who donated that to the cinema, and I'm very thankful. Definitely not a movie I ever would have chosen to watch on my own, but it was a really good movie. It's not, there was a couple scenes where it was like, I don't really want to watch this, but other than that, it was very good story. Very, very good story. Not only a good story, an important story. So if you weren't there last night and you seem vaguely interested, Concussion, good movie to watch. Speaking of Statterbox at the cinema, though, as I mentioned last night, and I'll be mentioning again, next Saturday there will be no Statterbox at the cinema. I'm going to be out of town for a night. One of my best friends from high school is turning 50, which means I'll be turning 50 pretty soon as well, but he's 6 months ahead of me, so he gets it first. He gets to catch it first. It is a pretty big birthday extravaganza, as it were. So I'm going to be heading out of town for the event. And there will be a chatter with Statter the next Sunday, but on January 14th, no Statterbox at the cinema. And let's see here. Thank you, Rick, for throwing down the link to MolokaiMatt. eMusic, don't worry. Get the DVDs in the mail when you can. I still have a couple different movies up my sleeve that we have not watched yet, so all is good. No worries, no hurries, but very, very excited to show the DVDs that you were going to send. And let's see here. Scrolling up. I'm normal wants to know what the heck is Riz, because you've had 30 kids tell me you have Riz. Weird. I don't know what that is. And so, let's see here. Hi, normal. I feel young now. Yeah, a lot of us here at the Statterbox crew are not on the young side. We like to pretend we're young. We like to think we're young. We like to act like we're young. But when it comes to adding up all of the numbers, suddenly you're like, oh, I'm gonna be 50. Or in the case of Darlene, oh, I'm gonna be 70. Yeah, it happens. And yeah, 50 is a pretty big celebration, so I figure I might as well make the trek across the water. And at Pecola T, you go past 6 decades in a couple weeks. Right, there you go. Hi, Normal, you're only 23, turning 24. Excellent. You know, I was told when I was 23 that 23 is a very good year. And so I hope that 23 is a good year for you. I remember very distinctly, I was at a Black Crowes concert in Seattle, Washington, standing in line at the bar at the Paramount Theater. I was 23 years old, talking to my college roommate, or my former college roommate, who was also 23 years old. And we were waiting in line at the bar when this random guy comes up to us. He's drunk, whatever. And he comes up to us and he's like, you guys are 23, right? You look like you're 23. And we were like, yeah, actually, we are 23. And he's like, good. You look like you're having fun, and 23 is a fun year. You're going to have good time when it's 23. And so, or when you're 23 or whatever, and he wanders off or whatever. And so I'll never forget that. 23 is a good year. And so, yeah, I hope that 23 was a good year for you too, or continues to be a good year for you too. And let's see here. See here. Andre, you'd like to look as good at 77 as K-Man does on his birthday. Yeah, K-Man turned 77 in the last couple days, and he was totally, yeah, he does not look 77. There's nothing about that makes me say 77 when I look at his pictures. And Pecola T, you saw Black Crowes in Vegas. They still rock. Awesome. I haven't seen Black Crowes in a really long time, but I am not surprised that they still rock. They are one of my favorite bands to catch live. I'd be the first to admit, I'm not a fan of jam band rock that just sort of like goes on and on. But the Black Crowes, they can jam on for like 15 minutes and I won't even notice. It's like the time warps. I get caught up in this trance of their musicality. The Black Crowes are just an amazing band live. If you ever get a chance to see the Black Crowes, now, like I said, I haven't seen them for a long time, but Pecola T says they still rock. If you ever get a chance to see them live, they are definitely a band to be experienced live. I mean, they're good. They're good on the records, but they're a whole other animal live. And yeah, they just have a groove down. You know, it's two brothers that work together, which is for better or for worse, you know, a thing. But they have just absolutely, they've been making music together their whole lives. And so they're on, you know, they gel with one another so flippin' well. And let's see here. Let's see here. Pecola T, have you not heard the story of the free beer? Okay. All right. This is a favorite story of C. Honda. And if you guys have already heard it, forgive me. I will try to keep it short. But, all right. Okay. I was at an Ozzy Osbourne show at the Tacoma Dome. Huge venue. And I had, you know, we were on the floor. So, yes, no, hi, normal. You haven't heard it either. So, okay, we've got at least 2 people who've never heard it. So everybody else who's heard this story, just, you know, you can go get a drink or something. A free beer, maybe, if you can find one. All right, so, at an Ozzy Osbourne show, there was beer carts on the floor. But at a certain point at the show, they stop selling beer and the beer cart closes. Okay, well, that's great. But this one beer cart person, he didn't really close down his station the way he should have. Or she, I don't know who it was. Anyway, after the concert is over, everybody is leaving the venue. Well, I walk by, I'm leaving too. But as I walk by the beer cart, I'm like, I noticed a few things about it, and it doesn't look secure. And so I step over and I just, I just wanted to see if they had disconnected the keg from the taps, because I could tell that they had unscrewed the tap lever. But just because you unscrew the tap lever doesn't mean you can't still get beer from the keg. So I walked over. There's no lever for me to pull, but I can still pull forward the little screw that they put the lever on, and beer starts coming out of the draft. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I fill my water bottle with free beer. And so people are like, what? Beer? And so as everybody's leaving, they're like, what? There's beer? And so people who had cups, people whatever, I was just filling up their beer cups as they walk past me, right? So I'm doing all this, and I look and I notice the cooler that's next to the beer cart that's got the keg is just full of beer, and it's unlocked. At which point I stopped pouring the beer out of the keg and just opened up the cooler and started handing out free beer to every single person who basically wanted a beer. I don't know, man. Some of them might not have been 21. I wasn't checking ID. And so I'm just handing out the beer. And so as I'm doing this, I notice just like less than 30 feet away, there's two security guards in their yellow security jacket, and they are standing there literally watching me do it. And at that point I realized, oh, that's right. Security is here security is works for their own private company that contracts with the Tacoma Dome to do the security, and that's all they do. And their job is people security. Their job isn't to secure the another vendor's product, because that's another vendor's fault. That's their fault that they didn't lock it up and whatever. So the security guards, they're just there to make sure that people aren't hurting other people and that people are heading out. They're there to like, yep, this is the direction, keep going, keep going. Their job isn't to stop me. Their job is basically to ensure that people have to pass me. So they don't give a flying fork what it is I'm doing. And so then eventually, my friend was like, dude, we gotta go. And so I just, shut the cooler off and, went on my way. I don't know if someone took over the stand after I left, but what I do know is, anyone who runs a beer cart at a heavy metal rock show needs to learn how to lock up the beer cart when the beer cart is closed. I don't think that what I did was necessarily right, but at the same time, as Sihonda said, there's Aussie fans who still tell the story. Lots of people would think that, what I did was right. It's like, have a good day, just I would give them their beer. It's like, get home safe, I say as I'm giving them a beer to walk outside with. But yeah, that was the free beer story. That was the free beer story. I have another story from that concert as well, but that doesn't involve free beer. That involves shoving small children into the mosh pit. They wanted to be in the mosh pit, and they weren't small children. They were probably like 12, but they were kind of afraid. And I was like, don't be afraid, little ones. And it was all good. I snuck them past security and everything, because I'm the cool aunt. I am not I'm not a good mom. I'm not a mom, but I'm the cool aunt. There we go. Let's see here. Rick, that's a terrible thing to say. Don't let them know how to lock it up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Ozzy has the crazy train. I've got the keg train. There we go. Exactly. Yeah, no, that's exactly it, Kenny. Have no fear. I will guide you, young one. That's actually exactly what happened, because these two kids, all right, I'll tell the story. These two kids were stuck on the floor behind the security line. And once you pass that security line, there was actually like front row seats, but you needed to have the super expensive tickets to get there. Now, nobody was in their seats, but you needed to have the super expensive ticket to get inside past that area. So these kids were like, I could tell they were just trying to get past there, but they didn't really know how. And so when the security guard who was there checking tickets got distracted, I literally grabbed and shoved one of them and said, now is when you go. And I shoved him in, and he went booking. And the security guard was like, what just happened? And I was, and I'm all looking at the show, acting like I didn't see nothing, but out of the peripheral of my eye, I'm, that kid, that security guard totally noticed something happened, but she didn't know what. And so it's like, all right, kid one in the pit. And so I glanced at the other kid and sort of just gave him a nod like, don't worry, man, I gotcha. And then I waited the next time. And then when the security guard got busy, now you go. And so the two kids, they got to go up to the front, and it was all good. So, yeah, there we go. And so I'm normal. You don't know people in their 20s that actually drink wine, but you're that 1% that actually loves it. Awesome. You'll grow up to be a wino one day. And when I say wino, I mean the fancy kind, the kind that's spelled Wineaux. A wino that only drinks Bordeaux type wino. And let's see here. Kayla, good to see you. We are chatting about various and assorted booze and alcohols and things. And so, let's see here. So we've got, and Rick is telling us the football score between the Packers and I think the Lions. And yes, the Lions. Packers are winning so far. And let's see here. Andre, there are rules to the pit and there are regional, no security, just the group enforced rules. True, but this was an Ozzy Osbourne show with a lot of older people up front. So when I say the pit, that was actually like, I was kind of exaggerating there. But basically I was getting the young kids up to the front, which is where they wanted to go, which is who should be up front. Why does Ozzy Osbourne need to see a bunch of 60-year-olds standing there when he could have a bunch of teenagers getting in the groove and vibing the whole night out? So I wanted the kids to be up front because there's nothing better than being up front at a show when you're that age. Because when you're my age or older, you might be able to afford the tickets to be up front, but you're not enjoying it the way the young kids would be. And so gall dang it, those young kids needed to be up front, and I took it upon myself to make sure they got there. And Kenny, you didn't want to get in the mosh pit at your first Dropkick Murphys show, but it drifted to where you were standing, so you had no choice. Exactly. Sometimes that does, sometimes that is exactly what happens. And Andre, thank you so much for the biddies. C. Honda, thank you so much for the biddies. And I know exactly the the delinquency. Hiya! Oh wait, no, is that Fuyo? I don't know. Wait, it's the hiya. I always forget which one is hiya and which one's fuyo. But yeah, that's it. The delinquency. Hiya. And let's see here. Gina, good to see you coming on in. Darlene, all of the biddies that I'm not going to count, so I'm just going to say thank you so much for all the biddies. And wait, what? Your mom got pulled up on stage and sung Happy Birthday to at an Ozzy Osbourne concert? Awesome, dude. That is so great. And let's see here. Yeah, I bet it was the best day of her life. That is super awesome. And judging from your age and judging from the fact that your mom went to an Ozzy Osbourne concert, I'm going to guess that your mom and me are fairly close in age, and we'd probably get along. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh, that's not funny. Oh, but it is funny. Hi, I'm normal. Not even her wedding or my birth wasn't even close to that. Your birth is second. And her poor husband, your poor dad, her wedding day was her third best day. All right, then. And yeah, by Ozzy himself, holy flirking snit, dude. I mean, yeah, that's, yeah, well, wait, she's 34, 35. She had you young. She would have been 10. That's young, or 36 or something like that. Oh, honey, no, she better be older than that. If you're 23, I mean, do the math, dude. I mean, 36, I guess that would make her 13. I hope that she's at least 36, my friend, because anything younger than 13, oh my. Oh my. Anything younger than 13, man, they ain't got birthing hips yet. You gotta have the hips. Gotta have the hips. And let's see, so your first real concert, Andre, was at a punk club called On the Broadway. Your friend got you to scalp your Clash tickets and they marked me as an adult. Oh, and so you got to see Dead Kennedys and you, nice. And you got to buy beer if you wanted because they got you marked as an adult. And, okay, there we go. There we go. I don't know. She doesn't actually celebrate her birthday, and you don't even know what age she is, to be honest. Gotcha. Okay. All you know is that she's younger than 40. Got it. Well, okay. Still though, if she's at an Aussie show, she and I would probably get along. And your mom's cravings for you, or your mom's cravings was Taco Bell when she had you. That doesn't surprise me, actually. I mean, Taco Bell is definitely not like fine cuisine. It's not something cultured like, wine, but it is such a specific thing, such a specific flavor, texture, smell. I mean, it's like, oh, that's Taco Bell food. Does it matter? It kind of all tastes the same. It's like, I could totally see how somebody would crave Taco Bell while they're pregnant, right? And let's see here. Kenny, when you saw Ozzy, Metallica opened and they had the whole arena floor for moshing, they were all wounded and worn out by the time Ozzy came out. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm not even surprised. I don't know. See, I never understood that whole double headlining thing with two major acts like that, because it's like, because after one full set, like I don't have the energy for another full set. So that doesn't surprise me that Metallica kind of ruined the night for Ozzy, basically. And Kayla, let's see here. Does it count as a concert? Last year you saw BTS Permission to Dance concert in the theaters. It was a repeat of one of their live in Korea, so it doesn't count. No, it doesn't count. It sounds awesome. It sounds like a cool movie. I know that if I was a huge BTS fan, I would absolutely be watching it. But no, it's got to be live. It has got to be live. And let's see here. Hi, I'm normal. Your mom craves some pickles with whipped cream. That sounds gross, but okay. And let's see here. Darlene, your cravings were ice cream, just a cone with good custard from Leon's stand there. That sounds, do I have to be pregnant to crave that? Because just reading that makes me crave that. I mean, come on. I know though that my mom craved, what was it? Lime popsicles when she was pregnant with me. So yeah, that was her big deal. And Kenny from the Cove, pre-Black Metallica was still huge Metallica. I mean, And Justice for All was a huge album. They had Justice for All and actually Master of Puppets, they were headline worthy for 2 or 3 albums before the Black Album. So yeah, they might have gotten bigger, but I still would consider them a dual headliner. They were not opening act status by the time the Black Album came out. By the time the Black Album came out, I was working in the record store when the Black Album came out, and we literally had to have, and we sold out of, we had cases upon cases. When the Black Album was released, we had cases upon cases upon cases upon cases of that album the day that it came out in our back room, and within a week they were sold out. So Metallica, by the time Black Album came out, was already monstrously huge. Any promoter who was putting Metallica as an opener for Ozzy, that's just gilding the lily. That's just trying to save promotion and tour costs on things that absolutely could have been 2 different tours. So the Master of Puppets tour. Okay, the Master of Puppets tour would definitely have been at their smallest big level. But I still feel like whoever decided to have them tour together, that's just unfair to the headliner. I mean, sorry, dude, but that is unfair to the headliner. as you noticed, like they were too worn out by the time Ozzy came on to play. Gina, right now we're talking about okay, all right, we're talking about live shows. Kind of talking about Ozzy Osbourne. It originally started with me, a story that I have about giving free beer away at an Ozzy Osbourne show. It has since spiraled, the chatter has scattered, into Kenny was talking about how Metallica opened for Ozzy Osbourne, and my opinion that I'm on a soapbox now for was, that is just insane. Metallica should not have been opening up for Ozzy Osbourne at that level in their career. and basically that's where we're at now. So, so there you go. All right, hi, I'm Normal. Super stoked to see you. I'm so glad that you joined the Statterbox crew again today. Have a great night, and hopefully we will see you some other time. Have a good glass of wine next time you open that bottle. Think of us. All right, you take care. And let's see here. All right, hold on. And let's see. Wow, Kenny, so Cliff Burton was on the bass when you saw Metallica open. That's an honor, because not many people got to say that they got to see him then, and or got to see them back when. And let's see here, Kayla, your whole life you really didn't even want to be in any in-person concert. You've only did theater arts in high school. We did dessert theater, but no concert. I also did perform with your Polynesian club. Oh, right on. Good. Yeah, well, you're used to being on the stage. Now it's time for you to be off the stage and watching the stage. And let's see, we've got, yeah, exactly, Darlene. Just because C. Honda and I want custard doesn't mean that we're pregnant. I might look like I might be carrying some custard babies, but I want more custard babies in my tummy. Oh, that's right, Zach. There we go. Thank you for that. I knew I had in the back of my head that we had already talked about that before, but I couldn't remember. If I can remember next time you come to call you Zach, I will. Although I don't mind. Hi, I'm Normal. It's fallen out of my mouth now. So. Doe, last concert for you was the Eagles. Wow, nice. That was a ticket to get, wasn't it? Boy, the Hell Freezes Over tickets, and I think they had another tour after that. Must have been good though, because God, you know, if you're an Eagles fan, that whole Ice Age era between when they were popular and when they finally toured again, because, well, you know, there was an ice age between the between some of them, their members. That must have been so painful, because it's just like, oh, y'all hate each other and you can't even be in the same room, but I still want to see you live. And so, let's see here. So let's see here. Macola T, the last concert with Jack Johnson and a host of musician friends at Waikiki Shell. Nice. And let's see here. Kenny also, gosh, seems like we got a whole crowd of Eagles fans all up in here. And yeah, you know, the Eagles, exactly, Andre, the Eagles always say they're going to stop touring and then they do it again. Kind of like Cheer. I don't know what you mean by Cheer. Who's Cheer? What? Kind of like Cheer. Like, who's Cheer? I'm so confused. Sonny and Cher. Gotcha. Got it. Okay, but Sonny and Cher can't tour anymore. I mean, they really can't. I'm not like they can't tour anymore, dude. They stopped promising not to tour. Oh, you just meant Cher. Okay, because like, Sonny can't go on tour anymore. He can't just, yeah, exactly, music. Sonny died. So, sorry, that's not funny, but I was very confused for a second there because it's like, hold on, how can one thing happen? And Picola T, okay, you think Elton John holds the record for the most farewell concerts? That doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me at all. I would like to think that the Rolling Stones also might be holding the record for the number of farewell concerts, but I don't think that they've ever really had a farewell concert, even though I feel like they really should have at this point. But gall dang it, man, people are still willing to pay top-notch dollar for seeing them alive. Or seeing them alive. Oh, that was a Freudian slip now, wasn't it? Seeing them live. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. You saw Elton John open for Billy Joel at the SA Alamo Dome. At the San Antonio Alamo Dome is probably what that's supposed to say. In the 90s. See, once again, how can Elton John open for Billy Joel? That is a dual headliner right there, right? Although dual headlining like that, that's not that bad, because my best guess is the crowd wasn't totally wounded and bleeding and worn out after the Elton John set, and they were comfortable enough to stay around for the Billy Joel set. So, Elton's farewell concert was in Vegas like 5 years ago. Got it. And, let's see here. So, Rat Dog. That's right. Rat Dog was Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead. I have, I remember hearing about them when I was in college. There we go. All right, so let's see here. It is 3 minutes to the bottom of the hour, so maybe we should think about wrapping everything up. I want to thank everybody for hanging out here tonight and listening to the chatter scattering in every which direction. It was super awesome. And I want to thank everybody for their subs, gift subs, and all of the biddies. And let's see here. Kayla, you'd like to see your first concert, but you don't know what concert you'll see? No, you don't. You have no idea. My first concert was Cyndi Lauper. And when I was 13, Concrete Blonde opened up, and it was an unforgettable experience. But seriously, it would be great for you to experience whatever band it is that you love, to experience them live, because seeing live music is very different than just hearing it. So listen to what Picola T has to say. Any live music, just go. Exactly. That is the best advice to have. Andre, thank you so much for gift subbing to Katie's Aura and for the Biddy Biddies. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, right. You regret that you never got to see Pink Floyd or AC/DC live. Yeah, and Kenny, not trying to pour fuel on that fire, but from what I've never seen AC/DC live as well, but from what I understand, AC/DC is amazing live. I mean, granted, it's only dudes that I know that have gone, but every dude I know who's gone to see AC/DC has come back from that show acting like a 14-year-old fangirl who just met the Beatles for the flippin' first time. Seriously, AC/DC, super, super good band to see live if you could have seen them live. And Kayla, for you, you'd go to a concert, but you feel like you would get lost. No, you can just orient, first off, you probably have a seat, and so you'd be able to find your seat via the ushers. If there's going to be ushers that'll help you there. Don't be afeared, youngin', don't be afeared. And let's see here. So, Kenny, Charlie Daniels Band was your first concert? That would have been a good one, too. That would have been a good one. I don't think I ever saw Charlie Daniels. No, I've never seen Charlie Daniels. And let's see here. Picola T, Aerosmith, so worth the 6-hour road trip to see them. Right, exactly. And Darlene, right, totally come in with the exact best advice. Take a friend. You need to not go, but you can't go by yourself. You have to go with somebody else. Totally. Yeah, take a friend. And you really, Yeah, you will not regret the experience. As long as you know that you're going to like the band, you will not regret the experience. All right, so I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Hopefully you don't regret this experience. See what I did there? And we will see each other. Hopefully we'll see each other tomorrow, Monday. That's right, I'm going to get it right finally. Monday for the Daily Pigeon Live podcast. That is, let's see here, 1 p.m. Hawaii time, so 3 p.m. West Coast time, and I'll let everybody else do all the rest of the math. If we don't see each other on the Daily Pigeon podcast tomorrow, let's try to make it here for Chatter with Statter Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii, 8 p.m. on the East, 7 p.m. for the Centrals, and that's where we'll do it. Yes, indeedy. Hopefully we will get to see each other again soon. Okay, 6 p.m. Eastern Time is for the Monday show with Andy Bumatai. Let's make a note and try to hang out, everybody. All right, have a good one. See you soon.